A very long time ago, beyond the towering mountains and behind the dense forests, there was a beautiful and prosperous kingdom called Everlight Kingdom. The ruler of this kingdom, King William, was known for his kindness, bravery, and fairness. The people of the kingdom loved him dearly. His palace was built of gleaming white marble, its tall towers sparkling in the sunlight. The gardens were filled with colorful flowers whose sweet fragrance drifted through the air. The fountains shimmered like pearls, and everywhere there was an atmosphere of peace, happiness, and harmony. God had blessed King William with 12 daughters, and each princess was a unique world of her own. The eldest princess was Olivia. Wisdom and intelligence shone in her eyes. Whenever she spoke, it felt as though an experienced advisor was giving counsel. Her sisters always turned to her whenever they faced a difficult decision. The second princess, Emma, possessed a magical voice. Whenever she hummed a melody, the entire palace would fall silent. Birds would gather outside her window, as if they too wished to listen to her enchanting songs. The third princess, Sophia, loved stories more than anything else. She could tell such fascinating tales that her listeners would completely forget about the world around them. Every night before bedtime, all her sisters would gather around her and listen to her stories for hours. The fourth princess, Ava, was a gifted painter. Whenever she picked up a brush, life seemed to appear on the canvas. Her paintings were so beautiful and realistic that people often mistook them for reality. The fifth princess, Charlotte, had an extraordinary talent for designing clothes. She created magnificent dresses for her sisters, and everyone who saw her creations was amazed by their elegance and beauty. The sixth princess, Lily, loved plants and flowers deeply. She knew the properties of every herb and often prepared remedies for those who were ill. The seventh princess, Harper, was a graceful dancer. When she danced, it seemed as though she were floating through the air. The gentle sound of her anklets echoed throughout the palace. The eighth princess, Mia, was an exceptional cook. The ninth princess, Abigail, was fascinated by the stars. Night after night, she would sit on the palace rooftop, gazing at the sky. She seemed to know every constellation and every star by name. The 10th princess, Grace, was gentle, quiet, and kind-hearted. She possessed a special gift for beauty. With her skilled hands, she could make anything or anyone look more elegant and charming. The 11th princess, Victoria, was the bravest of them all. She was an excellent horse rider and a skilled archer. Fear was something she simply did not know. And the youngest princess was Chloe. She was the best friend of every animal in the kingdom. Birds perched on her shoulders, rabbits followed her wherever she went, and deer happily played by her side. The 12 princesses loved one another dearly. They shared a large and beautiful chamber, where 12 magnificent beds stood side by side in a perfect row. But hidden within that room was a secret that the entire kingdom knew nothing about. Every morning, when the royal servant opened the chamber doors, he found all 12 princesses fast asleep in their beds. Yet their shoes were always badly worn out, as though they had spent the entire night dancing. On the first day, King William thought it must have been some mistake. On the second day, he personally ordered brand new shoes for all 12 princesses. On the third day, the same mysterious thing happened again. Every single morning, the shoes were found scuffed and worn. The king became deeply troubled. He stationed guards outside the chamber, assigned soldiers throughout the palace, and ordered the strictest watch possible. Yet no one could discover where the princesses went during the night. At last, a royal proclamation was announced throughout the kingdom. Whoever can discover, within 3 nights, where the princesses go after dark, shall be allowed to marry the princess of his choice, and will one day become the ruler of Everlight Kingdom. But if he fails to uncover the secret, he shall face a severe punishment. As soon as the royal announcement spread across the land, princes from faraway kingdoms began arriving at Everlight Kingdom. Each of them believed the challenge would be easy. But every night, the same thing happened. The princesses would offer them a sweet, fragrant drink, and soon they would fall into a deep sleep. By morning, the mystery remained unsolved. Many princesses failed, and fear began to spread throughout the kingdom. People started whispering that powerful magic must be behind the secret. Meanwhile, in a distant kingdom, there lived a brave and intelligent prince named Prince Alexander. He was famous for his wisdom, courage, and honesty. When he heard about the mystery of Everlight Kingdom, he decided to uncover the truth himself. On his journey, he met a mysterious old woman. There was a strange sparkle in her eyes. Looking at Alexander, she said, "If you wish to succeed, remember one thing. Whatever you do, do not drink the beverage the princesses offer you at night. And take this magical cloak with you. Whenever you wear it, you will become invisible to everyone around you." Alexander thanked her and continued on his way to the palace. That night, Princess Olivia entered his chamber carrying a beautiful golden goblet filled with a fragrant drink. The aroma was incredibly tempting, but Alexander remembered the old woman's warning. He pretended to drink it and secretly poured the liquid onto the floor. Then he lay down on his bed and pretended to fall asleep. A little while later, Olivia turned to her sisters and whispered, "He is asleep now. The time has come." As soon as she said those words, Olivia pressed a hidden button beneath her bed. Suddenly, the floor began to tremble. The bed slid to one side, revealing a secret staircase leading deep underground. One by one, the 12 princesses descended the stairs. Alexander quickly put on the magical cloak and quietly followed behind them. Below, an astonishing hidden world awaited. The first place they entered was a forest of silver. The tree trunks, branches, and leaves were all made of pure silver. Whenever the wind blew, the entire forest produced a beautiful musical sound. To gather evidence, Alexander broke off a small silver branch and kept it with him. Next, they arrived at a forest of gold. The whole forest shimmered like sunlight itself. Alexander carefully took a golden branch as well. After that, they entered a forest of diamonds. The sight was so magnificent that Alexander stood in awe for a few moments. Millions of sparkling colors danced in every direction. He also took a diamond branch from this forest as proof. Beyond the enchanted forests lay a beautiful lake. Along its shore stood 12 white boats, waiting silently by the water's edge. Each princess stepped into her own boat, and Alexander quietly climbed into Olivia's boat without being seen. On the far side of the lake stood a magnificent palace. Inside the palace was a grand hall filled with thousands of sparkling lights. There, 12 princes were waiting. As soon as the princesses arrived, music began to play, and the dancing started. The celebration continued throughout the night. The sounds of music, laughter, and dancing echoed through the palace halls. Before dawn, the princesses set out on their journey back. Alexander hurried ahead of them, returned to the palace first, and lay down on his bed, pretending to be asleep once again. The next morning, the royal court was assembled. King William looked at Prince Alexander and asked, "Prince Alexander, have you discovered the secret?" Alexander smiled and replied, "Yes, Your Majesty, I know everything." He then told the entire story of the hidden staircase, the enchanted forests, the magical lake, the distant palace, and the dancing that lasted all night long. Finally, he presented the silver, gold, and diamond branches as proof. The entire court was astonished. A stunned silence filled the room. After a few moments, Olivia stepped forward and said, "Father, it is all true. We kept this secret from you." King William took a deep breath. Then the entire royal court fell silent. Alexander looked toward Olivia. Olivia smiled warmly back at him. Then Alexander answered, "If Your Majesty permits, I would like to ask for Princess Olivia's hand in marriage." A joyful smile spread across Olivia's face. King William happily gave his blessing to the match. A few days later, a magnificent royal wedding was held in Everlight Kingdom. The entire palace sparkled with thousands of lights. Beautiful music filled the air. The people of the kingdom celebrated with great joy and excitement. There were feasts, dancing, laughter, and happiness throughout the land. And so, Prince Alexander and Princess Olivia were married. Together, they ruled with wisdom, kindness, and courage, just as King William had done before them. The 12 princesses remained as close as ever, and the secret of the enchanted kingdom beneath the palace became a treasured story told for generations. And thus, Prince Alexander and Princess Olivia lived happily ever after. Dear kids, if you enjoyed this story, please send a heart in the comments, like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more magical stories.